Yo, what's up guys? This is Rise and welcome to another video. Another feature of multiple Pokemon that got buffs. The one we're going to be highlighting mostly in this video is the Dedenne with Parabolic Charge. Parabolic Charge already was a solid attack, but it got reduced by 5 energy, which means you get there in extremely efficient pacing. 5 Thunder Shocks to every Parabolic Charge, and also it guarantees the defense raise now. So there are going to be some games where Dedenne goes absolutely crazy, and what is not a very bulky Pokemon almost becomes bulky with these Parabolic Charge defense raises, and Forretress as well is also a very much buffed Pokemon with the bug bite damage increase. Galarian Moltres, we covered it in the last video, very solid as well. Here we go. Forretress into Feraligatr. Also got to shout out Home Slice Henry for this team inspiration. He came up with this team with, I think he had Feraligatr instead of Dedenne in the back, so I made that adjustment. But this was partially inspired by Home Slice Henry with the Sand Tomb as well on Forretress. So here we go. Rock Tomb gets the debuff onto Feraligatr, of course, and it looks like we can bug bite down before they get to 3, and they actually go for the crunch, maybe fishing for a debuff, but Hydro Cannon actually does more damage, so maybe they should have gone for that. And then this game is actually really crazy, so I end up making a mistake here. Probably should have gone for the Rock Tomb first. Instead, I go for Sand Tomb first, thinking maybe it like increases the bug bite damage. I commit to the Rock Tomb, I don't get there. And now this is really awkward, right? Because that Carbink has a lot of energy, and my Galarian Moltres has like nowhere to go. So I'm thinking, how the heck do I win this game? And I start to think, okay, well, I'm ahead energy here against Azu. Azu throws pretty much immediately here. I'm thinking maybe if I buff my Dedenne as much as possible, I can definitely withstand an attack from Carbink and get it low enough where Moltres can maybe clean up if it needs to. So we get off another Parabolic Charge. We're already double buffed, and we have one loaded. So we get off 3 Parabolic Charges. We are triple defense buffed at this point, and we get the final Protect Shield. So now whatever they throw at us isn't going to do that much damage. They settle for Power Gem here. Look at that. Does pretty much nothing. These rock throws are not adding up as much as you'd think. Thanks. We are now quad buffed. They're going to have to throw, dude. They're going to have to throw, but they don't. And I get off another Parabolic Charge in what looked to be a really bad situation. Dedenne cleans up without us even revealing our 3rd Pokemon. Crazy win there. I made the mistake of not throwing that Sand Tomb, or maybe I should have thrown the Rock Tomb first to then get to a Sand Tomb. But luckily, Dedenne was able to clean up. If they had thrown their energy first, that also would have been tough for us to deal with. So we definitely did get lucky there in that first game, of course. But still a cool way to win. Here we go. We've got a Forretress mirror match. They go immediately for Sand Tomb. And I am going to go for the Rock Tomb here. Sand Tomb is going to debuff us defensively. We're going to debuff their attack, so we're kind of reset in a way. And they're just going straight Sand Tomb. So they're not really giving me any incentive to shield here. And I'm just going to take this Sand Tomb. I'm going to overfarm, making sure I throw before they get to another. Forretress going to not be able to withstand the Sand Tomb. And they come in with Dragonite. I don't get off an attack, but that's okay because we have a great answer for this Dragonite into Dedenne. In comes Jelly, and this is pretty comfortable. And they just top left before they even saw our Moltres. I was going to build up and then go Moltres, but I think pretty much whatever we did would have been fine at that point. I could have stayed and kept on buffing myself, and maybe Dedenne would have even swept. So maybe that's what they were expecting. They were expecting me to stay, and then Dedenne just swept. So makes sense. So a few comfortable wins there. And, dude, 2 wins and Moltres didn't even see the field. 2 wins and Moltres didn't even see the field. What is going on, actually? I didn't even realize that. That is pretty crazy. Let's see. Rise, what's taking you so long? Let's queue into the next battle, buddy. Looks like I know what we're waiting for here. Maybe we're talking to someone. Forretress into Credilli, great lead. They're staying in, which is kind of surprising. And they're running Bullet Seed. I think you want to go for Acid now. Bullet Seed, just that 3-turn is a little bit more awkward. 2-turn Acid And I elect to not throw Rock Tomb, I guess, because I didn't think it would be enough to knock out. And then I don't think it was necessary for me to throw Sand Tomb here. In my mind, I was thinking maybe they'd let me farm down, but then they just swap out. So it probably would have been more optimal to just go for the Rock Tomb there. But I do get off a Rock Tomb against Dugong. And then I swap into Dedenne. And I throw Parabolic Charge after 5 to get off before a debuff. But as you're going to see, it ends up not quite knocking out anyway. So I probably would have been better off just going for better timing. And but I don't think it was the worst play in the world. Or I could have undercharged as well if they were going to get up, move off anyway. In comes Gator. And dude, we're ahead on energy. This is looking really strong for us. We are double buffed at this point, and I'm just going to shield this because I don't have any plans on switching out. I'm just going to stay in, keep my defense buff. And that's kind of what you want to do, I think, with Dedenne now. It's almost like Morpeko, right? Except instead of sweeping defensively or offensively, you're sweeping defensively because you keep buffing your defense with this Parabolic Charge. It's like a different version of Morpeko in a way. Are Dedenne and Morpeko related somehow? They feel like cousins. They feel like cousins. Is there some lore there in the Pokemon anime? Look how little that Hydro Cannon did after all the defense raises. Dude, this thing is crazy. This little electric mouse. It may look cute and cuddly, but it is a menace. It is a menace. Dude, you know, I kind of wanted Dedenne plushie. You see the plushies in the back. I was never really a plushie guy. I didn't get any for like a few seasons, and it wasn't until I went to Japan I kind of loaded up on plushies because I was like, you know, when in Japan, you're just surrounded by like Pokemon culture over there. It felt like I had to, but Dedenne would be a very cute plushie to get. Here we go. Sand Tomb going to grab the Protect Shield. And, okay, Caesar going to knock us out. I come in Moltres, thinking I could get the farm down here. And I do get it in 5 Sucker Punches. Nice. So now we're up a Protect Shield. They come in with Golisopod. And it's Shadow Claw, which is even better for us. And, yeah, this is not looking good for the opponent. Fly, going to do so much damage. So Galarian Moltres finally seeing some action here. And we're in a really dominant-looking position. Going to overfarm slightly. This will definitely knock out the Golisopod. Moltres raining down the Fly. Bang. And there's a Dusclops in the back. Oh my gosh. Yeah, this is just nothing the opponent could really do. Tough matchup for them. Yeah, as long as we didn't like give the Caesar some sort of huge advantage from the lead, we were going to be chilling this game. And Moltres definitely tough for their backline there, so... That time, Dedenne got to take the game off. And in these early season ranks, of course, obviously I'm someone that plays a lot of PvP and has been doing this for 20-plus Go Battle League seasons now. So, oh, Mason, one of my teammates, amazing battler. This game, maybe we get a little bit of, karma for, I don't know if karma is the right word, but, he comes in with he does a Typhlosion save swap, and he built up to 2 Thunder Punches. Perhaps I should have thrown Fly earlier to not go down 2 shields, only go down 1 shield. But I go down 2 shields here, and then check out what happens. I was already afraid of this, thinking maybe it is like a Talonflame in the back. And Mason wisely is going to just completely sacrifice the Lickitung here. No, and then what is it going to be? It's the Talonflame. Dang it, dude. Dang it, dude. It's the Talonflame, and we get a shield with Parabolic Charge. We buff our defense. And then even worse is he's going to reveal that he has Flame Charge. I do get to another Parabolic Charge here. If he did not have Flame Charge, I would have probably played this out and tried to maybe pull off a win, but there's just no winning because Flame Charge does so much. And remember, we're not like resetting his attack. So like I was so far off a move with Forretress. Let's say I pull off a catch. There's no way I'm even reaching a, I probably died to like 2 Incinerates after the buffs. And then even if I did pull off a catch, one flame charge would just knock me out anyway. So there was just no way. GG's. Fort into a regular Jumpluff. And man, even against a bulky Pokemon like Jumpluff, isn't it impressive how much damage these bug bites are doing? They do bait me with Aerial Ace, so a nice bait by the opponent. That is a valuable bait for them, saving quite a bit of energy. We land the Rock Tomb. They come in with Blastoise. I probably should have just swapped immediately, because if I was quick enough, maybe I could have got off my Parabolic charge first, but I was a little bit slow to react, so I stay in and then decide to throw my Rock Tomb before then going into our Dedenne. We get the shield. That's actually really good for us, because now they might be less inclined to use another shield here. We're going to let them hit us with a Hydro Cannon. I know they're 2 off, so I decide to throw on the CMP, thinking that's when they're probably going to throw. And Dedenne going to have the higher attack stat here, so going to win the charge attack priority. They let Blastoise go down. What is going to come in? Is it going to be the Jumpluff? No, it's actually a Drapion. So I throw after 4 here. I think they might have lagged a turn. And then this gets a little bit awkward in the end game. I was anticipating a potential catch here, but I kind of allow it to happen anyway. So maybe I should have just like swapped Fort there. Would have been the better play. I undercharge. And the reason is I don't want to like give him a sting down, you know, on my Dedenne. So now I come in 4. I get the farm down. And I was thinking as long as I force him to dump energy here, I could have thrown the Sand Tomb there, but I was thinking as long as I force him to dump energy, my Moltres should be fine in the 0 shield here, because 2 Aqua Tails isn't quite enough before I would get to a fly against the Drapion. So tricky little end game there, but we're able to get it done. Not like, obviously not like that tricky. Like I think we had multiple avenues to win that, but could have like found a way to lose that if we weren't as careful. Maybe if we like allowed a farm down. And this battle, okay. This one, terrible lead, Diggersby. I'm like, oh shoot, dude, this is awful. And it gets even worse, Wigglytuff. And at this point, I'm thinking, this game is over. We lose. There's nothing we can do. We go for the Brave Bird. And Brave Bird does a ton of damage, but it doesn't do enough where we like get any sort of advantage out of this. I guess Wigglytuff has so much HP. One advantage we get here is a decent amount of farm from the Wiggly without taking much damage. So at least our Forretress is able to store a decent amount of energy. The opponent comes in and we pull off one nice play here by catching a Fire Punch onto Dedenne. But now I'm thinking like, man, this Diggersby might just sweep my entire team. They build up a little bit of energy and they swap in Furret. Now I'm thinking like, huh, I wonder if there's any way I can like degen through with like fast attack pressure in the end game. But I was still thinking we're in a terrible spot because obviously Fire Punch is double super effective against Forretress and that Diggersby is still really healthy. So this seems like a tough spot. I do get off another Parabolic charge and I was kind of hoping he would let this go through because if he shields, like that would have been a little bit more awkward for me with the Sucker Punch pressure if he got through Dedenne. I go for the Sand Tomb. Now, he had to respect a potential Earthquake here. So the shield, you might be wondering why shield, but I think if like a loose con in his mind could be letting an Earthquake go through. So getting that Sand Tomb bait, then I'm like, huh, maybe there's some play here. I'm still not that confident at this point. I'm still thinking like he probably just shields the next one as well. Gets the double Fire Punch. But I go for the Rock Tomb and I'm thinking, okay, this lands. Now do I live the Fire Punch? Now maybe I can live the Fire Punch. Am I bulky enough after the debuff? We live the Fire Punch, and we're able to steal a pretty insane win from an impossible lead. And I actually made a YouTube short out of that some of you might have seen posted. So GG's to Blastoise. They tagged me like, like man, like I totally threw that game. I should have won, and like you made a short out of it, but they were a good sport about it. And I totally know how it feels, right? I empathize because like I'm infamous for being like, I hate when I totally throw a game and people tag me like GG's. And I'm like, was it really a good game? Like knowing I misplayed like 3 times and I'm like mad at myself. So I totally like empathize from the other point of view when someone is like, man, I played really bad, or they feel like they threw that game and I'm the one that's like making content out of it. So I totally empathize with that point of view, but it was also funny because it was a sports commentary redemption on my stream. So we have a little bit of fun with the sports commentary redemption where I basically act as if I'm like a sports commentator, but I'm commentating my own battle in like the third person, which some people don't seem to understand when I post them online. And they're like, why is this guy like talking about himself in the third person? Makes no sense. It's like a bit. It's supposed to be funny. And so I thought it made for some funny content. And hopefully if you guys check out the short, you'll enjoy it. But all that said, Dedenne, dude, it's I think it's the real deal. We'll see if it is actually good in like the show 6 pick 3 format or not. But I had a lot of fun running it in the Go Battle League, at least so far. So I think it's really strong. If you guys enjoyed this video, let me know what you think about Dedenne. Let me know what you think about Pokemon, life, the NBA Finals, or not. And all that said, thanks so much for watching. Leave a like, subscribe if you're new, comment down below. All comments are appreciated. And all that said, thanks so much. Hope to see you in the next one. Peace.